Here on What's Brewing, we'll try anything for you, but a sour pickle beer?
It's springtime. It's Bock beer season. Why can't I find one of my favorite styles of beer?
From the Second Sin Brewing Company in Bristol, PA, with Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow, and this is What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. We are open. Travel responsibly. Follow the Bucks County Ale Trail. Go to visitbuckscounty.com/ale trail to get your passport. By the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, 90-plus breweries, and 1,000-plus beers. And by Conshohocken Brewing Company, now shipping beer to all of Pennsylvania at ConchiExpress.com.
Hey, welcome to What's Brewing, along with Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. By the way, follow him on Twitter at beer_radar. You can follow me on Twitter at Real Glen Macnow. The show is at What's Brewing PA, and we are today at the Second Sin Brewing Company in Bristol, PA, where they have a tremendous menu of interesting beers. We're going to get to some of those. We always start with the beer trade, and I know this one's near and dear to your heart.
Totally. I grew up drinking Bock beer. It was the first kind of style of beer that was different, a strong lager. It comes out traditionally it's Easter time. It's a spring beer. And yet, as I pointed out, it's really hard to find them. There's only a few breweries making it, and it's a real disappointment that you can't see these beers.
We did our whole show last week talked about there's 174 different styles of beer, but you can't find this one, but we found a few.
We did.
So we're going to do a trade. I got this for you, my friend. This is from the Ambler Beer Company right here in East Falls, Dutch Hollow Malbec Lager.
Actually, that's from Ambler, but this beer is named after East Falls beer
wrong.
Tradition.
All right,
So,
an East Falls beer tradition. Here you go. You know what? Let me give you the better pour.
Yeah,
here.
Glenn with his perfect pour.
I get a lot of blowback from viewers on my bad pour. There you go.
Hey, that's a good-looking beer.
There you go. That's a nice-looking beer. Tell me what you know about this puppy.
All right, so this is a My Bock, which is, there's different styles of Bocks. There's dark Bocks, there's double Bocks. My Bock is sort of the light Bock, My Bock, and it's also known as Helles Bock. It's designed to be, it's bright and clean and a little bit lighter body than your traditional heavy Bock.
Very bready, kind of malty, nice flavor to it.
Oh, that is really good. That nails the style, I think. Maybe a little bitter for the style, but it's still really got that nice bready, as you said, bready kind of malt flavor that is designed to give it body, I guess.
All right, what'd you bring for me?
All right, so this is from, not far from them, is Round Guys in Montgomery County.
Oh, yeah.
This is Deathbound. Now, it's funny because I talked to the brewer of this. This is described as a Pilsner Bock, but also as an Imperial Pilsner. And the reason for that, as the brewer told me, is that they're not so sure that people are really into Bock beers that much right now because, all right, that looks pretty good. I poured right that time, Glenn.
Yeah.
And so they added the Pilsner name because people are into Pilsners these days. But this is an Imperial Pilsner.
Okay.
A little stronger, 7.5% alcohol. So really clean looking.
Nice. It's a little more peppery, more spicy than that.
Absolutely.
Than the first one, right?
There's a bigger hop presence in this beer. So the thing about Bock beer is that it was made for springtime because it was part of a Lenten beer, a beer that was made for people to drink, ostensibly, instead of eating during Lent. So that was a thing back in the day.
Well, it's a thing now, too. Funny you should bring that up, because we've done this story in previous years, but our friend Del Hall in Cincinnati is back to it. This is a guy who decided for Lent, he decided to give up all food other than beer. He is on his annual 46 days of only consuming beer diet. Here's the thing. In the past, when he's done this, he loses weight. He lost 50 pounds last year. Put back 30 since then. His goal is to take off 40 this year.
What do they call that, yo-yo diet?
Yeah, I guess so. He's turned it into a charity thing. You can follow him on Instagram at SGTDEL. He's a former military guy. Doctors have advised this is not the greatest diet to do, but you'll see, we put pictures up of him, and it's kind of a before and after. Got, you know, that big round face, and he loses weight. What do you think?
Well, as I've said in the past, if you're drinking beer to lose weight, you're doing it wrong. So,
okay, before we get off of Bock, you love it so much, you made your own?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to find these. And frankly, the reason that it's hard to find is because IPAs are becoming so dominant. It's hard to find shelf space for these brewers. Both of the brewers that, from Round Guys and Amber, told me that it's hard to get, you know, this beer out there. So I said, I'm taking things into my own hands, Glenn, and I'm going to make my own
Look at that.
Bock beer.
You spared no expense on that label,
Yeah,
didn't you?
exactly. But you know what? Please be gentle, because I'm not really a home brewer. I'm a beer drinker.
Yeah, I've not known you to bring in your own stuff before.
This is the first for us. So,
oh, wow, okay.
I wanted to see what you thought of it. This is a darker one, and I can tell
definitely, yeah.
All right, it looks okay.
All right.
We'll see how it goes. Please, you know, be frank, but be gentle.
Be frank, but be dishonest. Be honest, but be dishonest.
Exactly.
Not bad. You know, I think you didn't quite get the depth and complexity that they did, but
Yeah.
it's an agreeable flavor.
It's the first lager I've ever made, so and I will say,
I'm proud of you.
You know,
Nicely done.
thank you.
Good for
Thank
you.
So Joe Sixpack Beer Company.
Soon to be marketed at a beer store near you. Coming up, we are going to talk about some very odd beer styles that are available now, and we're going to pay tribute to a great friend of ours and this area who passed away recently. From Second Sin Brewing Company, Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow. It's What's Brewing.
Hey Zoom World, I'm Marissa Magnata.
And I'm Chill Moody. Look, breweries need our support now more than ever.
Many breweries offer delivery and takeout services.
And beer makes a great gift.
Go to visitphilly.com for more information.
Hey everybody, it's cold outside, and that means it's the winter beer season. Head to any Conshohocken Brewing Company location or local beer retailer for Conshohocken Brewing's seasonal lineup. We've got 2-hour delay hazy winter IPA, Mr. Robusto, a robust porter, and 2-time World Beer Cup Award winner Puddler's Row ESB. Those and our others are sure to ring the bell this winter season. That's Conshohocken Brewing Company. Cheers. Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. We're at the Second Sin Brewing Company in Bristol, PA. I am enjoying this. How heavy this acts. Yes, IPA.
Looks like a cloudy IPA. You're
It's a
right in your
beauty.
style.
Mhm.
Cool. This is Philip the Middle. It's another IPA in the big West Coast IPA style.
Nice. We want to just spend a minute to pay tribute to a great friend of ours, passed away late in the winter. John Chaney, the great Temple coach, the local institution, all-around great guy. I came to know him through my work at WIP, and you came to know him one night when you and he were judges in my beer contest.
Exactly. I mean, I've been a huge hoops fan in Philly for years, but here I got to drink beer with a guy who I've really loved and admired over the years, and what a night that was. We had so many
pretty
great
fun.
beers together, and, you know, the guy he's basically a Bud fan.
Yeah, he didn't like most of those beers because he likes plain beer. So what we're going to try now is in no way something that John would like, but we're going to do it.
Beers that John Chaney didn't
Yeah,
hate.
here's a John Chaney. This is a sour pickle beer from Best Made. This comes out of Austin, Texas. Martin House Brewing Company. Now, when we did a show last season at Tasker's Beer Barn out near Reading, we talked about how people will take a boring lager, stick a dill pickle in it, and make it a little more interesting. And we tried it. It wasn't horrible. This, however, is a sour pickle beer. Yeah.
All right, Glenn.
Okay, here we go. We do anything for you,
Exactly.
folks. Here you go.
Oh, my word. This, the,
That's the worst thing I ever had.
The aroma
Come back to
is
me.
like opening up a jar of pickles.
It's like drinking the brine. Oh, you didn't even go yet. Yeah. We've had a lot of beers over the years on this show. That may be the single worst.
Glenn.
Yeah. That's really bad.
Yeah, it's like drinking pickle juice.
All right, well, we're going to cleanse our palate with this Exit 7
Wow.
pork roll porter. Flying Fish. This is our friends at Flying Fish.
I had high hopes for this.
Yeah, did you really? You know what? In honor of John Shaney, we'll say what he would have said. That was horrible, man. All right, so this is some Flying Fish pork roll porter.
All right, so
What do we know?
You know, you can get a porky kind of barbecue taste with the smoked malt. So that's where
Okay.
you're coming from
All
here.
right.
I get a lot of smoke in the nose.
Mm-hmm. It tastes like a smoky porter. I don't get the pork roll, but I do get the smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay. Actually,
yeah, I think this would be a decent beer for like outdoor grilling season.
yeah, the name scares me off a little
Yeah.
bit, but the taste is pretty good.
Yeah, when you put pork in the name of your beer, it's
Yeah,
sort of
this is the single worst thing we've ever had on this show. All right, now another thing that's really kind of coming back these days, there's a trend toward grandpa drinks. I even love the name of it.
right. We had the folks here
in bars.
at Second Sin make us some drinks because these are not
No, this is
grandpa
I
drinks.
got a lovely mojito here.
Right, and this is a strawberry spritzer, and really, this is a good-looking beer or cocktail.
Yeah. So here's the story. Again, people are always looking for something new. Yeah, this is nice. And everything old is new again. So people are drinking kind of old nostalgic drinks, including bitter liqueurs, including fragrant vermouths. You a vermouth guy?
No, they often say that vermouth is the thing you're supposed to wave the martini in front of it.
Yeah, well,
before-
no, people are just drinking kind of vermouth. My grandfather drank something called Schlibowitz.
Oh yeah, Polish.
Yeah.
So
Maybe Russian, Polish, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember once, I was, pretty young, and I'm watching him drink it. I'm, 11. And my grandfather, what are you drinking? Schlibowitz, Glenny, Schlibowitz. I was like, can I have a taste? And he handed me, a tiny teaspoon of it. And I'm telling you, varnish, paint remover, I don't know I've ever had it again. Any of those attract you?
I got to say, I'm much more of a straight liquor drinker.
Yeah.
I mainly because I don't have the patience to make a nice cocktail like this. So,
Okay.
vodka.
Hey, I'll enjoy this mojito.
All right. Cheers,
We're at the
man.
Second Sin Brewing Company coming up. We'll check in with our pal Ava Graham, who's found a very good spot out in this area. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow. It's What's Brewing.
It's a place that inspires the dreamers, the overachievers. A place for those who follow the path, as well as the ones who blaze them. So whether you want to go with the flow or rise above it all, visit Bucks County and be inspired.
That's What's Brewing Beer Brew Down is sponsored by the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, 90-plus breweries, and 1,000-plus beers. Vote for your choices on Twitter at beer_radar, Real Glen Macnow, or What's Brewing PA.
Welcome back to What's Brewing, where we are branching out into cocktails today. Enjoying that mojito. Anyway, we are thoroughly into our beer bracket. This week, the global division, and you've got some interesting results.
Absolutely. In some ways, not a big surprise, but Founders All Day IPA blew out Blue Moon 73% to 27%.
Decisive.
I would say that is partly due to the fact that it's an IPA versus a wheat beer.
Yeah.
But there's more going on here
Well,
than that.
so we got a lot of feedback. Understand, we did the 32 best-selling craft beers in the country as defined by...
The Brewers Association,
Okay.
essentially. So.
We don't make the definition. We got so many people who said, how can you think Blue Moon is a craft beer? That's a sin.
Exactly. Well, it's made by Miller. So, yeah, I could see why you would say that.
Well, who makes Founders IPA?
Yeah, San Miguel, one of the biggest breweries in the world. So I don't think people realize that. I think that Founders has a lot of cred because it goes way back as a classic craft brewery before it was sold out. Blue Moon started as a mega brewery-owned craft brewery.
Anyway, stay tuned. Follow us on social media because we've got a lot more of those beer brackets coming, including beers you may actually like. Anyway, we're really liking the beer we're having here at Second Sin Brewing Company. Our friend Ava Graham went to check out a great place, Dad's Hat Distillery. Let's find out what Ava saw.
Hey guys, I'm hanging out at Dad's Hat in Bristol, PA in beautiful Bucks County, where they distill Pennsylvania rye whiskey. Now I'm hanging out today with Herman. How you doing, Herman?
Very well. How are you?
Doing well, especially since I got this very fine Pennsylvania whiskey in hand.
Absolutely.
Now, you have a rich history behind this Pennsylvania rye whiskey. Can you give me a little bit background?
Sure. Pennsylvania, a lot of people don't know, but Pennsylvania is where American whiskey was born. And dating back to 100 years ago, when my grandfather was a young man, he was drinking rye whiskey made in the distillery that was in my hometown out in western Pennsylvania. But there were distilleries spread all across the state back in those days before Prohibition, including one right here in Bucks County. It was called the Philadelphia Pure Rye Whiskey Company and was located literally 5 miles down the road. So there's a deep tradition of making rye whiskey in Pennsylvania. And then around Prohibition came along and shut all those distilleries down. But my grandfather, who was a rye whiskey lover, discovered that instead of working in the still mill where he was working, that starting a speakeasy would be a much better business plan. So he started a distillery, or a speakeasy that became our family tavern legitimately in the 1930s. The tavern was open until the mid-70s. And right when the still mill in town, which was the biggest employer, closed down, and of course, then there was not as many people going to the bar, so that's when the bar closed. So in flash forward to 2006, there was an article in the New York Times that said rye whiskey, which was really almost dead in the U.S., was making a comeback. So I started kidding around with my good friend John Cooper, who's now my business partner, saying that wouldn't it be fun to start a distillery. John and I were both, suit and tie, kind of guys for, 30, almost 40 years. So in 2009, we verified that indeed rye whiskey market was growing. And Pennsylvania, since it was the home of rye whiskey, we just thought it would be really appropriate to bring rye whiskey back to its home here in Pennsylvania.
That's fantastic. And a little bit about the background to the name Dad's Hat.
Dad's Hat comes from the many hats that I inherited from my father, who unfortunately passed away as a fairly, what I would say, a young man in his 60s. And because I won't show you now, but I'm lacking a little bit of hair on top. So wearing his different hats, when we were developing the branding for the whiskey, the company we work with, a company in Philadelphia called Signature Communications, came up with the idea of using that as a way to communicate the nostalgia we want to associate with the brand.
Now, where it came from, where we're going to lead to, where can you get it? Where can you get Dad's Hat right now?
Dad's Hat is available in 22 states, but primarily, obviously, in Pennsylvania. We are sold very widely in the Pennsylvania state store system. We're in, I think, something like 400 stores across the state.
Incredible.
So, in several of our different expressions, this one we have here is our 4-year-old straight whiskey.
Very good. It's delicious.
Very tasty.
Very
yes,
tasty.
thank you.
Very smooth.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of rye spice up front, but it smooths out. It's really been mellowed well in the barrels. We also have a wider variety of products that we don't offer in all the stores, available directly from the distillery when we open again for tours, which will be hopefully soon. And also directly on our website, we have a store that you can order directly if you're a Pennsylvania resident. We offer some special products there, individual barrel selections.
Now, real quick, I would like to stop you there. So individual barrel selections. Describe that process to me it's almost like a customizable, or how you like it best, right?
Exactly. We, John and I, in fact, we were doing it this morning. We were tasting barrels for this morning, selecting barrels for some retailers in other states. We're very proud of the fact that we use our rye grain comes from a farm right here in Bucks County. It's the Meese family. Because we have that direct connection with the local farmer, we get a really high quality raw material, which we think contributes to the quality of our whiskey. And John and I were nominated a couple years ago for a James Beard Award, which is which is a pretty big deal. I mean, we didn't win, but just being nominated we thought was a pretty big deal because of our contribution to the spirits industry and being one of the sort of on the cutting edge of bringing rye whiskey back to its historic home in Pennsylvania and offering it to the rest of the country.
That's fantastic. Now, future plans. What's in store for Dad's Hat?
Future plans. Well, we were planning to open a satellite tasting room. That'll be, in addition to the tours we do here, we wanted to have something that'd be a little bit more accessible, more times open during the week. So we have taken a space on Mill Street in Bristol. And as soon as the COVID situation clears up, we'll announce when we're going to be opening the tasting room on Mill Street in Bristol, which was pretty exciting.
Well, thank you for bringing a product that has so much heart and soul behind it. It's delicious. And
Great.
Guys, Herman has been so kind to send a bottle home to you guys, so I'm sure you've had the chance to taste it. And I know that you're going to love the history, the rich roots of Bucks County, and make sure that you come out as soon as you can to Bristol and hang out here with Herman at Dad's Hat.
Super.
You know what? That's a fine, fine rye whiskey. At least let's find out.
Classic
We think it
style.
is. There you go, yeah.
Oh my. I like this a lot.
That is really nice. Hey, coming up, we're going to talk with Jake Howell, the owner and brewer here at Second Sin. With Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow on What's Brewing.
They're not just familiar faces, they're your friends and neighbors. It's their small businesses, a beating heart that makes a neighborhood a home, where personality is served on a plate and imagination paints a brighter world. A place where fresh is always in stock with a personal touch passed down through generations. Support small and make a big difference. Make it local. Make it Main Street. Make it Montco.
The Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, over 90 breweries, and over 1,000 beers. Sip your way through it, one beer at a time.
Welcome back to What's Brewing. We're at Second Sin Brewing Company with Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We are joined by Jake Howell, co-owner, head brewer of this fine establishment. Jake, you poured me this. This is a beautiful looking thing. What am I drinking here?
So that's actually the cans that are sitting right there with the kind of pastel reds.
Yes.
It's called That's a Mole.
I love it.
That's a mole.
I love it already.
So it's an 11% imperial stout that I conditioned on cacao nibs, vanilla beans, mulatto peppers, and some cinnamon.
As you know, I've liked this style before.
That's right.
And I like this style again, and you've done a great job with this.
Thank you very much.
Beer. One may go a long way, but it's a nice beer.
It's certainly a mouthful. There's a lot going on, but yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out, and people really enjoying it.
What does he got there? What do you got?
This is a strong West Coast IPA called?
It's called Philip the Middle. Yeah, it's a West Coast triple IPA. It's like 10%.
I like that because it's somewhere between Pliny the Younger and Pliny the Elder.
Exactly. It's there's a lot of beers. My co-owners and I were my 2 best friends, Phil and Mike. We've been drinking beer together since we turned 21, or good beer, I should say, since we turned 21. That was one of the first beers that, everybody wanted to try. You'd wait in line for it. And we eventually got to try Pliny the Younger. It's a great beer, and we just kind of wanted to do a little homage to it. And we always get people asking for West Coast IPAs instead of hazies sometimes. So we decided to give them what they wanted.
You gave us some great beer.
Are you going to give me a great beer?
Well, no.
Oh.
We're going to give you something that we tried earlier. Spoiler alert, we gave some of this to your dad who's here, and he loved it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
This is sour pickle beer. I don't know why we're making you do this, but we feel mean to that.
See, I wish I could say this is the first pickle beer I've had, but one of our one of our customers brought one in before. Not this one. This smell.
He's being
reluctant.
serious.
He's just going to smell it all day. What do you think?
Not for me. I could see my cousin loves pickles. I bet he would love that beer. But no.
It's a beer with a very small market. His cousin.
Yeah, a lot of dough flavor. But all right,
Jake, you make a pretty interesting wide variety of beers. We've had this IPA. We have a Mexican stout. You're making some sour beers here. I had, before the show started, a really nice Dunkel, a dark German lager, and I know this is a robust porter.
Yep.
What's your theory, or what's your whole sort of approach to brewing?
So I like pretty much any style of beer as long as it's made well, except for Belgian triples. And so we kind of try to keep our list pretty balanced, because I like to say, I brew what I like to drink, and we do a little bit of everything. We have a cobbler-inspired sour beer, but we have a standard, Munich Dunkel. We always try to have at least one lager on tap at any given time. I have an American light lager in the fermenter right now that's going to be coming out on the opening day of baseball, called Lil Slugger.
Little Slugger.
Yeah,
Good name
the
for
cans
beer.
are over there.
Yeah, I saw. You cover all 4 sports with some of that, and I thought that's a great idea.
So yeah, we did our first Philly themed beer was supposed to be for opening day, our Philly's home opener last year.
Yeah.
But by the time that came around, we got shut down, and it wasn't quite the release we had hoped. But now this year we're bringing back Home Field Advantage. It's our Philly themed IPA, and then alongside that we have Lil Slugger. Both of those are going to be out on April 1st for the opening day of baseball.
So Jake, I know you guys are on Grundy Lane in Bristol. Tell us a little bit about when people can come out to Second Sin.
Yeah, sure. So we're open Thursday through Sunday. Thursdays from 4 to 9. Fridays we open at 2, here till 10. Saturdays noon to 10, and then Sundays we're open noon to 9.
And we're sitting here in the parking lot in front of you. This is where you could come and drink beer if you want to drink outdoors as well.
So today's a beautiful day. It was a little bit frigid this weekend, so we didn't have the outdoor seating set up. But we all, when it gets, nicer out, we have plenty of tables and canopies outside for people that prefer to be outdoors and a little bit of spillover. And to find us, we're at Second Sin Beer on Instagram. And Facebook, just search Second Sin Brewing Company.
Terrific. Well, listen, we really appreciate you hosting us today, and I will say this is a spectacular beer.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
It's a fine product.
High praise, Glenn.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a
Jake,
style you
Powell,
love.
thank you so much. And thank everybody for watching. We look forward to seeing you next week on What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Macnow Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. We are open. Travel responsibly. Follow the Bucks County Ale Trail. Go to visitbuckscounty.com/ale trail to get your passport. By the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, 90+ breweries, and 1,000+ beers. And by Conshohocken Brewing Company, now shipping beer to all of Pennsylvania at ConchiExpress.com.